Florida Dem contender Andrew Gillum just hit with bad news from the FBI. It seems like the race-peddling Democrat Florida gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum has now found himself in a heap of trouble. Especially after the Florida Ethics Commission issued subpoenas while investigating Gilliam's interactions with various undercover FBI agents and questionable travel expenses. Here is more on this via the Federalist Papers. The Florida Ethics Commission has just issued new subpoenas as it investigates Gilliam's interactions with undercover FBI agents and his travel expenses, Newsmax reported. With most polls showing Democrat Gillum nursing a slight lead over Republican Ron DeSantis, Gillum seems intent on evading questions and running out the clock until next Tuesday's election. According to the State Division of Elections, some 3 million Floridians have already cast ballots in early voting. Let me be very clear about what the record is, Gillum declared during the gubernatorial debate on October 21. I am not under FBI investigation, and neither is my city government. What we have done is, we have welcomed them in. If there is someone who has done something wrong, they ought to be held fully accountable for their actions. Republican Ron DeSantis shot back when I worked with the FBI, I was doing it as a prosecutor to bring people to justice. When Andrew is dealing with the FBI, he's dealing with an undercover agent as a person of interest in an investigation. That's a reference to a federal corruption investigation been underway in Tallahassee for about 3 years. The probe apparently focuses on political influence and Community Redevelopment Agency (CRA) deals that took place in the city. Adam Corey, a longtime Gillum friend and lobbyist, introduced him to 3 men who represented themselves as businessmen interested in developing Tallahassee, but they were actually undercover FBI agents. The agents had plenty of cash, and provided Gillum and a companion with 1,000 tickets to the Broadway musical Hamilton. Also, an undercover agent who went by the name of Mike Miller was invoiced for the 4,386 food and bar tab at a $5,000 per plate fundraiser to raise money for Gillum's Political Action Committee. That bill was apparently paid by the agent. Throughout the corruption scandal, Gillum has insisted that the FBI has assured him he is not the focus of its investigation. In an exclusive interview, former FBI Assistant Director Ron DeSantis tells Newsmax that without addressing the specifics of the corruption probe in Tallahassee, subjects rarely know the scope of an investigation prior to grand jury indictments. Generally speaking, DeSantis tells Newsmax, "You'll find out you are the focus of the probe when you have handcuffs on you or when an indictment is returned by the grand jury and you get to read the charges. Before that point, it's not as though the government has an obligation to go out and tell people who are not the focus of the probe, hey, we weren't looking at you." Now, maybe there's some reason why he knows that, DeSantis speculates. Still, DeSantis says cases can always change based on the information the FBI develops. As they start to conduct an investigation, he says, they're always looking for, is there a need to expand the investigation? Do we expand to additional subjects? And as he insists that the investigation is not about him, the facts do not bear out his assertions. The Costa Rica trip. The mayor's chief of staff, Jamie Van Pelt, told the Tallahassee Democrat that Gillum's week-long visit to a $1,400 per night resort in Costa Rica with lobbyists was purely a vacation and did not involve official business. But emails obtained by the Democrat showed that during that vacation Corey, who served in a voluntary capacity as the treasurer of Gillum's mayoral campaign, sent Gillum a calendar invitation to a May 16 meeting with Gillum and Miller, the undercover agent. Common Cause Florida board member Pete Butzon told the Democrat, the mayor seems totally oblivious to even the appearance of a conflict of interest. He's got to understand this thing is going to come back and bite him. Hamilton trip. Florida Commission on Ethics is looking into Gillum's acceptance of an expensive ticket to see the Broadway musical Hamilton. Gillum was reportedly in New York City in a business capacity for his former employer, the left-leaning People for the American Way organization. The reason the 1,000 tickets have drawn the attention of state ethics investigators: officials are not permitted to receive any gift valued at over $100 from someone doing business with their city.